What's going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel. It's time for another episode of the Never Seen It series where I give you my thoughts and opinions about movies that I've never seen before in my entire life. Do I love them? Do I hate them? But most importantly, do I recommend them to you? So last month's movie watching theme was Scream Factory titles because that is one of my physical media resolutions for this year, to get through my unseen Scream Factory films. And even though I did not watch every single movie that I pulled, I did watch the majority of them. So I'm happy about that. There's only a few left in my collection that I do need to watch. So which movie was my favorite of the bunch? Well, ironically, it was not a Scream Factory title. It was Tombstone. I absolutely loved this movie. With Val Kilmer's recent passing, I did want to watch something, but I wanted to see something that I've never seen before with him in it. I didn't want to go automatically to Top Gun or Real Genius because those are obvious choices. So I chose Tombstone, and I was blown away by Val Kilmer's performance. I thought he was so good in this movie. When he was not in scenes, I found myself missing him. I was missing his character. I missed his presence during the film. To me, he was the clear standout of this movie. Don't get me wrong, there's a ton of talent in this film, but Val Kilmer stands out. And he was robbed of an Oscar nomination because I don't believe Val Kilmer received any kind of Oscar recognition with nominations during his career, which is very unfortunate. And if he was to get a nomination for something, it should have been for Tombstone. So Tombstone was absolutely my number one favorite watch from last month. I'm not sure if I will pick up the 4K Steelbook because I think it's pretty much sold out everywhere, but you know what? If it's meant to be in the future, if I come across it, if it's at Bull Moose for some reason in the future, I will definitely upgrade and pick it up. So Tombstone was my favorite. It was my fave. Okay, we go from my favorite to less of a favorite, let's say. So Alligator 2: The Mutation was a big downgrade from the first film because the original Alligator movie I have on 4K. I really enjoyed that film. It is cheesy, good fun. It's pretty much the definition of cheesy, good fun. You just have a good time watching the movie. You don't have any expectations at all. And so when I went to watch Alligator 2, I knew what I was in for. However, I will say with The Mutation, it's a downgrade. It's a serious downgrade from the first film, and it doesn't really look that great, and it's cheesy bad. It's not cheesy good. It's like the cheese is moldy. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just not that great. But I'm going to keep it in my collection because I'll watch it again. It's a fun, like, bad, like, so bad it's good. Well, not really. It is bad, but I know I'll watch it again because it's a monsterish kind of movie. So I'm sure I will watch it again. So Alligator 2, even though it does not rise to the occasion of the first movie, it'll stick around in my collection. It'll stick. I'll watch it again sometime down the line. I know it. It's just not as good as the first one. All right, now we have got from Stephen King, The Dead Zone. This is a 4K starring Christopher Walken, and I really enjoyed this movie. My mom wasn't really so hot with this film. She was like, like, wasn't so great, but I enjoyed it. So in this movie, we have Christopher Walken, who plays a teacher, and his life is going great. It's perfect. He has a woman in his life. He's in love with her. He wants to marry her. Like, everything is picture perfect until it's not. He gets into an accident, which lands him in a coma for 5 years. And so his girlfriend has moved on with her life. She didn't know if he was going to make it out of this. And so, you know, time's ticking. She had to move on. So she moved on. He comes out of the coma, but what he doesn't realize when he gets out of the coma is that now he has this special ability to see into other people's futures. So say he touches you on your arm or your shoulder, he can see into your future, and it may be good, it may be bad, it could be horrific, who knows. And Christopher Walken has all of those answers. I really enjoyed this movie. I did. Stephen King, with some of his ideas, man, he is just really, really out there. Some are winners, some are not, but I would say with The Dead Zone, this one is a winner. I really enjoyed this one, and the 4K looks great, very solid. So I would recommend this 4K upgrade if you guys are interested. And I do believe that a 4K Steelbook is coming out soon, either next month in June or July, sometime within the next couple of months. There is going to be a 4K Steelbook option, so you may want to pick that one up. But I do recommend. This one was great. It was good. Now we have The Wolfman. This was a 4K upgrade that was sent over from a subscriber, I believe from David, if I'm remembering correctly. So thank you so much, David, for hooking me up with so many awesome movies. I truly do appreciate it, and The Wolfman was one of them. So this is the Wolfman movie with Anthony Hopkins and Benicio del Toro and Emily Blunt. I had seen the movie one time prior, and I enjoy this one. I do. I think this movie has a lot of mixed reviews. Like, some people, enjoy it just flat. It's not like the best werewolf movie. We've had other classic werewolf movies that are better, but I think this werewolf movie is solid. And then there's other people that just really dog this movie, hate it for some reason. I'm not really sure why, because when I watch it, I do enjoy it. The 4K looks good, so it was a pleasure to watch that upgrade. And so I think nowadays, having werewolf movies, we're kind of getting back into werewolf movies just a little bit, but I do think as far as like monster films, vampire movies are still way more popular than werewolf films. So I would like a comeback, like a resurgence of werewolf movies, because I think we need them. I do. And I enjoyed this one. So this is a recommendation as well. Like, if Scream Factory has a sale and the werewolf is for, $17, $18 or something, I would recommend pick this one up. It's a good time. It's a good time. Okay. Another Stephen King title, Firestarter. So I do not know what is wrong with me and Firestarter, because this is not the first, not the second, but the third time that I have tried to watch this movie from the beginning to the end, and every single time I fall asleep right in the middle of this movie. I am not really sure what it is. I'm not sure if the entire concept of the film is just not entertaining to me. I'm not sure if I am bored during this movie every single time I try to watch it. I'm not sure if I am exhausted every single time I try to watch it and I fall asleep, but I've never finished Firestarter. I don't know. I don't have an answer for you. And I still have not finished it, because like I said, this was my third time trying to watch it, and I still have not completed it. So it drives me crazy just a little bit, but obviously I'm going to keep it. This is like a Stephen King classic. I'm not getting rid of it. It's got, little Drew Barrymore in there, so I got to keep it. Now it's kind of like a mission for me, like I have to finish Firestarter. So I will. I'm just not overly thrilled with the concept of the movie, I think. And I think it's all three, like I'm not thrilled with the concept, I'm kind of bored with it, and then I'm exhausted. So if you combine all three of those, I never finished the movie. All right, moving on to another 4K upgrade that David sent over. It is Devil. So this one is a great movie because you have 5 people stuck in an elevator. One of them is the devil, and that's the fun of the movie, because you're trying to figure out who it is. And it could be anyone. It could be any one of these people. They are all different kinds of people stuck together in this elevator. And this was a lot of fun, trying to guess who it was. And also the benefit with this movie, it is so fast. It's 80 minutes long. That's it. So it doesn't linger. It doesn't overstay its welcome. It runs really quickly. It gets right to the point. You're in and you're out. And M. Night Shyamalan produced this movie. And this is one of the better projects that he's been involved with, even though he did not, creatively, have control over the movie. He's not the director or the writer, but he did produce it, and I enjoyed it. So this one is a winner in the M. Night Shyamalan column as far as his involvement. So I did enjoy Devil. 4K looks great as well. Okay, so this is another title that is not Scream Factory related, but I had to watch The Accountant because The Accountant 2 was coming out in theaters, and obviously I had never seen the first movie, and I'd seen the trailer for the second film, so I did want to check that out at the movie theater, so I had to check out the first movie. And I thought this film was great. A lot of fun, great action. But the one thing that I love most about both movies, The Accountant and The Accountant 2, is how Ben Affleck portrays this character. I've said this before when I talked about The Accountant 2. I think when I was reviewing the movie and in like what I watched or something. I love the way Ben Affleck portrays this character because I honestly think he just really loses himself in this character. When you see Ben Affleck as the character of the accountant, you don't see Ben Affleck. You see the accountant. And that's when you know an actor is doing their job and they're doing it well and correctly. When they can disappear and the character comes forward. And I think that this is Ben Affleck's best work in doing that. And plus, the way he portrays the character with someone that has high functioning autism is just so well done. He is amazing in this role. And I really loved the second movie. I went to the theater and I saw it, obviously, and I really loved it more than the first one. And so if they decide to go ahead and make a part 3, which I think they might be doing because there's been chatter, Anna Kendrick might come back for part 3, who knows? I'm down. I'm down for it because these movies entertained me and I have a good time. So loved The Accountant. Good one. So happy I finally watched that one. Okay, back to Scream Factory. So we've got Rent-A-Pal. Wow, this one was a trip. Let me tell you. What year does this take place? Okay, so the movie itself takes place in 1990. And this is important because I'll get to it in just a second. So our main character here is a man in his 40s, and he's the caretaker for his mother. She has either dementia or Alzheimer's, so she has a tendency to wander off, so he has to keep his eye on her, and, that's important later on down the line in the movie. So he's the caretaker for his mom, so he's lonely. He really doesn't have any friends. He certainly does not have a girlfriend or married or kids or anything like that. It's literally just him and his mom. So back in the 90s, if you were interested in possibly finding love, you would go through like a video dating service. And that's old school. Okay, very, very old school. Bumble and Plenty of Fish and all those dating sites did not exist back in the 90s. So back in 1990, if you wanted to find someone for a date, you would either place a personal ad in the newspaper or you would subscribe to a video dating service. And so that's what he was doing in this movie, trying to find someone to date, to find someone that's interested in him. And while he's like going through the videotapes at the, the dating place, whatever, in the discount bin, he finds this video starring Will Wheaton called Rent-A-Pal. So he takes this videotape home, and it's Will Wheaton pretending, like acting like a best friend. And so what becomes so sick about this entire situation is that our main character here just keeps watching this tape over and over and over again. And like the lines of reality become blurred, and he actually thinks that he is best friends with Will Wheaton's character on the videotape. it's really sick. It's really sick and it's really twisted and it just goes from there. I really enjoyed this one. I think this was the first movie I watched last month for Scream Factory month and I was like, wow, what a way to kick things off. This one was great. So Rent-A-Pal I found entertaining. I picked up this copy at Big Lots for like $5 or $6, something like that. But I mean, if you can stream it somewhere, I recommend that. But if you can't stream it, I don't know if Scream Factory titles are on Shudder or not. Probably not. But I don't know if this is available to stream anywhere. But I mean, it's worth a watch. I think it's worth a watch because the creep factor is at like a level 10,000. Like it's really, really creepy. Entertaining. Entertainingly creepy. All right, now, ooh, I love a good obsession film. So the next one is The Temp, and this is starring Lara Flynn Boyle right here and Timothy Hutton. So Timothy Hutton is an employee at an advertising agency. He's like higher up. He like comes up with the ideas for advertising and things like that. So he needs to get a temporary secretary, and that's where Lara Flynn Boyle comes in. And what I liked about this movie is that usually with a film like this, when it's strike that, reverse it. When it's an obsession film, there we go. We got beyond the stutter. Okay, when it's an obsession movie, usually it's a woman obsessed with a man. She wants the love. She wants to be with him. And, she does, want to like have sex with him and everything. But her main focus is she wants to climb the corporate ladder. So she's more obsessed and focused about getting a better job position rather than the sole focus being on, sleeping with her boss. Of course, she would do that too. Just to move higher up in the company, she would do both. But I thought that was kind of refreshing for an obsession film because, like I said, it's usually like you're obsessed with a person and not a job, so I liked that element. It made it a little bit different for an obsession movie, but this one's definitely staying in my collection because I always enjoy a great obsession movie. As I said, I love them. They're great. Some of them are tacky. Some of them are classic, like Fatal Attraction. I mean, this isn't as good as Fatal Attraction by any means, but it was entertaining, and I like the difference. So The Temp was good. Enjoyed The Temp. My face says it all. Okay. Poltergeist 2. What went wrong here? Okay, like what went wrong? What went wrong? There we go, tongue twister. Is that this is clearly a cash grab off of the first movie. The first Poltergeist was such a major success back in the day. So they immediately had to get, a sequel going, and there was no reason. Poltergeist should have been a one and done. How many times can the same family be haunted by poltergeist? It's ridiculous. It's literally the same concept thrown onto the same family all over again. Like, it's ridiculous. I don't even think my mom clapped at all. And that's really, really bad. I'd never seen Poltergeist 2 because it's in the never seen it pile. But like the first movie, I remember watching numerous times back in the day. And then I watched Poltergeist 3, I think the most, over Poltergeist 1, because it was one of those movies that I found on HBO and I would just, be enamored by it or something. I don't know. I don't know why I was watching Poltergeist 3 all the time, but I was. And so I'd seen 1 and 3, but for some reason I skipped over 2. Maybe I knew. I don't know. Maybe I knew this movie was not that great, but it's not. It's really, really not. So if you only have the first Poltergeist, you're fine. Moving on to the next item in the Never Seen It Scream Factory pile. Ooh, we have another loser. Unfortunately, another loser. We have got the 4K of The Company of Wolves. I just did not care for this movie at all. It was very boring. It seemed like it was 2.5 hours long, and it's a 91-minute runtime. That is ridiculous. I was not invested in this movie at all. Angela Lansbury is in the film. That's a little bonus, I guess, but don't be surprised if you see this in the bye-bye Blu-ray video for the month of October when I meet up with the boys again at Bull Moose, because I just was not a fan. And I'm not going to keep something that I'm never going to watch again. Unfortunately, I also have the poster that goes along with this movie. It's in my closet back there. Does Bull Moose take posters? I don't know. Maybe I should ask, because I don't want it and I don't need it. So this was a waste of money, absolutely. And this is why I am changing how I buy in the future, because spending $35 or $32 or however much it was for a complete blind buy was a huge mistake with that one. So that is a physical media regret. Absolutely. All right, next up is the Blu-ray of As Above, So Below. So this movie was a lot of fun. I'm sorry, I coughed. This movie was great because you have a group of explorers that are in the catacombs underneath the streets of Paris. And it seems like the deeper they go, the more horrific the circumstances get. And this movie's crazy. This movie's absolutely crazy because you never know what's going to happen. They're turning corners, left and right, and is something going to be there, something not? Like, you don't know what's going to happen in this movie. It's absolutely crazy, but this kept my attention the entire way through. You betcha. And this was also a 93-minute runtime. It went so quickly. So I really enjoyed As Above, So Below. That's a good one. That's definitely a keeper for the collection. All right, so this movie isn't necessarily a horror film, but it falls under Scream Factory. It's right there on the spine. It is Sorry, Wrong Number. So this is an older film. Obviously, we have Barbara Stanwyck and also Burt Lancaster. And the premise of this movie is that you have Barbara Stanwyck. She's waiting for her husband to come home from work. She's at home. She's disabled. So she's waiting for him to come home to help her and, just to be with her. And he's not home yet. So she's alone. It's late at night. So she's trying to call and find him. And this was the time period way, way back in the day when we had operators. We had telephone operators where if you picked up your phone, you actually talked to another person and they connected you to who you want to talk to. Yes, that's how old this movie is. When is this from? 1948. So that's what was happening back in 1948. So what happens is Barbara Stanwyck gets on the phone. She wants to be connected to her husband's office, I think, or something. And as she's being connected, she hears two men that she doesn't know who they are plotting a murder. Great concept. Great concept for a movie. I really enjoyed this one. I'm not going to say anything further beyond that because the movie's so good, you just got to watch it. But I highly enjoyed this film. Great. I love my old black and white titles, so this one was a great watch. Loved Sorry, Wrong Number. All right, we have just 4 more titles left. Which one is the worst of this batch? Place your bets now. Comment down below. Okay, next up, John Carpenter's Body Bags. So this is a great anthology movie. You have 3 different stories happening back to back to back. 90-minute runtime, so each story is about 30 minutes long. You have John Carpenter in here as like the narrator of the film, I guess. He's like the crypt keeper in the morgue situation. And what's great about this is that you have a ton of horror icons or big stars in this movie. A lot of fun. Mark Hamill's thrown in here. He's the star of the third story of the anthology. I really enjoyed this one. A lot of great fun. I do recommend this if you want like a different kind of anthology and you've never seen Body Bags. This one is a good one. Lots of great stuff happening in this movie and variety of different horror stories. So that one is a good one. I did enjoy it a lot. So we had John Carpenter. So of course now we have to have Wes Craven. So for Wes Craven, we have Shocker. Now this movie I tried to watch previously, but of course I was the victim of narcolepsy, so I fell asleep watching it. So this was technically a rewatch. And this one is interesting. I'll give Wes Craven the credit. Did he write this also? Yes, he wrote this. So he wrote and directed this. Wes Craven he came up because he's no longer with us. Wes Craven came up with such unique original ideas for his movies. But with Wes Craven, for me personally, even though I love his work, obviously, for what he did with the Scream franchise and also obviously with Nightmare on Elm Street, with his filmography, he's not always 100% for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's some movies where I'm just like, what was he thinking? You know, like, what was he doing making a movie like that? And I have to say, if I were to rank the Wes Craven films, Shocker would be towards the bottom for me. Only because, like, it's not the most rewatchable film for me. It's kind of a very weird, out there concept. Even though I give him the credit for being original, it's just like, it's not a go-to. You know, it's not a go-to grab off the shelf on a Saturday night kind of movie for me. You know what I'm saying? So that's the reason. It's like, I don't hate the movie, but I don't absolutely love it either. So it's like, it's down on the list. It's down, but I'm keeping it. I'm going to keep it. I will keep it. There's worse movies than that. Trust me. All right. Like this. Saturn III. We have Saturn III. So this movie takes place, obviously, in space. I wasn't really sure, like, what the purpose was of being in space and what we're doing in space, but pretty much all you need to know with this movie is that Kirk Douglas, yes, Kirk Douglas is in this movie. Kirk Douglas and Farrah Fawcett. What a dynamic duo. Okay, like, who decided to put these two together? Who cast this movie? I don't know. Kirk Douglas and Farrah Fawcett are in space together. They are a couple. Okay. They're a couple in space. They're doing their thing. They're doing their job. And then out of nowhere, Harvey Keitel busts in with this like random robot thing. And Harvey Keitel immediately becomes obsessed with Farrah Fawcett's character. Like, he wants to be with her and do things with her. You know what I'm saying? Kirk Douglas is not happy about that because obviously he is with Farrah Fawcett. And Farrah Fawcett is like absolutely gorgeous in this movie. I mean, she was just so pretty at the time. So it's understandable why Harvey Keitel would, you know, want to pursue that and everything. But the whole movie was just like weird. Weird, very weird. Again, not a go-to for me. I did watch it. I watched it. I did not pick up my phone. I did watch. This was pretty much my face while I was watching the movie. I was like, huh? trying to piece everything together and understand everything. It's definitely interesting. Not a movie that I would automatically go to. I'm sounding kind of repetitive with that, but it is the truth. It is the truth. I cannot lie. So Saturn III, I'm not really sure what I'm doing with this. I don't know if I'm going to get rid of it in October. I'm not really sure if it's going to stick around or not. I don't know, but I did watch it. So credit. Kudos to me. I did watch it. Saturn III. Okay. So what is the worst movie? The worst of the worst film. This movie may be a classic to you guys, a cult classic, but for me personally, no, absolutely not. From Beyond. What is this? What the heck is this? This movie was just so weird and out there and freaky, and I don't even know. So there's like this experiment going on in this house, and there's like the director of the experiment and his assistant. That's like right in the beginning of the movie. And the experiment, I guess, gets a mind of its own, kills the director of the experiment or something, and then the assistant goes into the nut house, and that's where he meets up with Barbara Crampton, who is, you know, like one of the queens of horror. I get that. I totally get that. But in this movie, whew, wow. Okay. If you've seen From Beyond, you know what I'm talking about. Barbara Crampton is like, wow. Okay. Way out there. So she's a doctor, and she has heard of this experiment or something. And so she wants to continue this experiment. And the assistant is trying to tell her, no, like it needs to be shut down. Like, don't do that. Does she listen? No. So she takes him and this like random other dude and goes back to the house where the experiment is, and chaos. Chaos all over the place. Like, this movie's crazy. It is crazy. It is so off the rails. It is not my cup of tea. It's not my cup of tea at all. I would never watch this again. I struggled through it. I almost picked up my phone at one point, but I was like, no, Susan, just, resist the temptation. You don't need to look at anything right now except From Beyond. Give it a chance. And I gave it a chance. And it's bad. It's bad. To me, it's bad to me. That doesn't mean it's bad to everyone. Obviously, this is my opinion only, but it's probably going to go. It's probably most likely going to leave my collection. I just was not fond of From Beyond, unfortunately. So that was the worst. Oh, you know what? We haven't thrown in a while, but I'm not going to, like throw it like I did in the early days. We're just going to chuck it. It's still on my bed. So that was the worst of this past month of Scream Factory. So those are all of the movies that I did watch last month that I'd never seen before. So comment down below and let me know your thoughts about what I watched, or if you want to let me know your favorite Scream Factory titles, please do so. Don't forget to like and subscribe before you leave, and I'll see you next time.